Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I don't know where the songs are in your songbook. Is this just like a bigger version of the other one? Of the small songbook? Is it just like
this is much bigger. There's a lot more stuff in it. Lot more bhajans in it.
more bhajans? Huh? Is it the same order?
If you want, the best way of finding any
Well,
bhajan
it's
Maharaj
not.
is
It's not the same order. It's
in
different
the back,
order.
there's like the starting lines of all the songs. That's usually.
There you go. Okay. Whew, it's quite warm in here now.
Huh?
It's warm in here.
The fan on mine?
No, I'll be okay. Just have to adjust. I think after the big feast also you feel warmer. Yeah, it heats you up, sleeper indeed. We're saying, I don't know if you have more of these songbooks or you can put it on the screen. Okay, Shri Vraj Dham Mahimamut. Jai Radhe Jai Krishna. Jai Vrindavan. Da-da-da-dum. Da-dum-dum. Anyone doing it? Is it up? Jai Radhe Jai Krishna. Who does it? Very quick. You're very quick. Expert. Where's our lawyer tonight? Is he not coming?
He's coming.
Where is he there? Oh, look at that. The lawyer will have a long life. Did you release many people from the ocean of birth and death today?
No problem.
Huh?
Apparently not. Trying to save himself.
Save yourself. Couldn't save any of those poor people who are in problems. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Shri Govinda Gopinatha Madana Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Kalindi Yamuna Jaya Jaya Mahava Ishigatata Vangsivata Dvadashakana Yaha Sabha Lila Kaela Shri Nanda Nanda Shri Nanda Yasoda Jaya Jaya Gopagam Shri Damade Jaya Jaya Teno Vatsagam Jaya Brisha Banu Jaya Kirtida Sundari Jaya Purnamasi Jaya Piranagari Jaya Purnamasi Jaya 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 Gopishwara Vrindavanamai Jaya Jaya Krishna Sakamata Dvichara Jaya Jaya Krishna Sakamata Dvichara Jaya Ramagata Jaya Rohini Nandana Jai Jai Vrindavana Vasiyata Jana Jaya Dija Patni Jaya Janaka Kanyagam Bhakti Hara Palo Govinda Charan Shiva Samandala Jaya Jaya Radha Sham Jai Jai Rasa Leela Sarva Manoram Jaya Jaya Ujjvala Sarva Rasa Sar. Parakiya Bhaveya Bhajate Pracha. Shri Janava Pada Padma Korya Smaran. Dina Krishna Dasa Kahena Sankirtana. Dina Krishna Dasa Kahena Sankirtana. Jaya Adi Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Shamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan. Shamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan. Kalindi Jamuna Jaya Jaya Mahavan. Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavan. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohan. Jai Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotara Sadashla A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Nantakuta Vaishnavinda Ki Namacharya Shila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinda Ki Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Ganga Maya Ki Yamuna Maya Ki Tulasi Deva Ki Bhakti Deva Ki Samaveta Bhaktivinda Ki Lord Chaitanya's Harinam Sankirtan Ki Vrihat Madanga Ki Shri Prabhupada Ki Shri Shri Gaurnitai Ki Shri Shri Krishna Balaram Ki Shri Shri Radha Shama Sundar Ki Go Premanandi, all glorious to the assembled devotees, all glorious to the assembled devotees, all glorious to the assembled devotees, all glorious to Sri Guru Garanga, all glorious to Sri Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Dun, 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 dun. Jai Prabhupada. No, it's the same. It's the expansion of the other songbook. That's all. Just this size bigger. Otherwise, it's the same songs. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the devotees who prepared the gorgeous feast today. Some of you have survived. What about, did you get the feast? You got? Okay, good. They saved you a plate. Good. So today is on our calendar is Bahulashtami. And it's also supposed, according to our calendar, to be the appearance day of Radhakund. Anything else? Bahulashtami, the appearance of Radhakund. Pardon? Snanadan means bathing. Hari Bhakti Vilas recommends bathing in this day in Radhakund. Doesn't say at midnight, just any time on this day. It's become a tradition in Vrindavan on midnight, Aaron. Tens of thousands of devotees go there. I mean ISKCON, I mean the public. Devotees go there and bathe at midnight. Is quite a scene. So should we do that? What does it mean? What is the significance of the appearance of Radhakund? Said to be, if we read, where's the here? You're studying Nectar of Instruction, isn't it? That's a picture of Radhakund. In the old one, 1976, this little book came out. Your Guru Maharaj, those who are Bhakti Vikash Maharaj disciples he'll remember that. He was there. I think he was there in 76 in Vrindavan, as far as I can remember. He would have been there. And that year, this book became available. And the original one had a picture of Radhakund on the front. And everybody was very, very excited. It's a new book, and it was like, in a nutshell, you could say the essence of Lord Chaitanya's teachings in many ways. In fact, one outsider commenter on our book said, this book in one sense is best because it goes from your practices, what leads up to your goal. What is the goal is established, and the practice is leading to the goal. Sometimes we hear classes by devotees from Shraddha to Prem, going through the various stages of devotional service. We're very weak faith, but coming up to the highest Krishna Paramartha Mahan to awaken what is our goal of life. The ultimate Artha, Paramartha, the topmost goal. Is that bottle big enough for you? What have you got in here? Now that's the lassi from the feast, isn't it? Yeah, we put some extra honey in for you, don't worry. Yeah, from Shraddha to Prem. That's an enormous. Is it one of these thermos flask? Yeah. Woof. They do everything big in America. What a thermos flask! Look at that. I've never seen such a big one. Pardon?
I took one of these to India, Maharaj.
Ah. They took what?
They thought it was a fertilizer bottle.
Fertilizer?
Yeah.
Huge.
That's really
Mm-hmm. So, everyone's very excited. So, on reading this book, most of the devotees, it's in Mayapur. We always used to go to Mayapur first and then to Vrindavan. And Prabhupada would be there. We was with 2 or 3 weeks in Mayapur with Prabhupada in the 70s, 74, 5, 6, and 7. I think that took place. First a few weeks in Mayapur, then a few weeks in Vrindavan with Prabhupada. Every day giving class. So I don't remember him giving classes on Nectar of Instruction, but he was lecturing on the teachings of Prahlad Maharaj in 76 and 77. And but this book came out, so everyone was eager. It's a short book, easy, small book to read. And most of those read it while they were in Mayapur. So with great enthusiasm, on arrival in Vrindavan, one of the prime intentions was to bathe in Radhakund. Because it appears, where is that? There are various references. I didn't have time to find the references, I'm afraid. I think it's the very last line of this book says, if one simply bathes once within those holy waters, one's pure love of Krishna is fully aroused. So quite an incentive, huh? Yeah. Just once. So with that in mind, maybe most of the devotees were there, had never been to India before. There were 350 devotees from the Radha Damodar temple. They'd hired a jumbo jet from New York to Calcutta. First jumbo jet, I think, to arrive in Calcutta airport, full of devotees. And it was a huge, what can you say, wave. I mean, nowadays, 350 devotees in Mayapur, you won't even notice them. Yeah. Of course, if they're white-skinned devotees, you would. If you don't get many white-skinned devotees now, comparatively speaking. Maybe there's still the same number, but there's like 100 times more Indian devotees there now. Than there are white devotees, or more, maybe 1,000 times more. And then there was hardly any Indian devotees, mostly all from Europe and America, Australia, South America. A lot of South Americans were coming. We had classes in Spanish, classes every day also. So there were just devotees from overseas coming for the festival. So they had no cultural experience. So on arriving in Vrindavan at the first Parikrama, devotees didn't go, maybe some did, but in general they didn't go until the day of Parikrama, which went to Radhakund. And on that day, pretty much everybody, was very excited, with their swimming attire, to enter into Radhakund by whatever means seemed possible or suitable, whether it was diving or jumping and playing around, frolicking in the Kund, like some kind of, what do they call those animals in the ocean? Not whales, what's the other one? Huh? Dolphins. Playing around, jumping around, up and down, in and out, going under the water, swimming underwater, coming out, tripping devotees over, and all sorts of things. Enjoying themselves, so say, in Radhakund. So after returning, Prabhupada didn't go on the parikramas, at least not that year. And when he heard the report of what happened with the devotees there, he wasn't very happy to hear that devotees had taken it so lightly. And from then he gave, could say, an instruction: no more bathing in Radhakund. You take 3 drops of water respectfully on one's head. The eligibility, of course, if devotees have gone with a very respectful and very, reverential and cautious way, Prabhupada may not have said that, but everything has its reason. Maybe not just the immediate situation, but it's to awaken in us an understanding what it means. And it's not just in relationship with Radhakund, but in relationship with anything, really. In devotional service, the attitude which we have in relating to that service, to that person, to that place, etc., is the key. Is the key for, we're hearing of association this morning, but it's the key for actually entering in. To enter into a very confidential place, even in the material world, you can't generally just walk in. Prabhupada said that about the moon. They think maybe they've gone to the moon, but he said they've not gone to the moon, because they don't have the key to enter in. You can't enter in unless you have the key. So, the key to enter into Radhakunda, the key to enter into Shuddhanam, the key to enter into pure devotion. It could be applied to just about anything, really. There's a key. Otherwise, we may have a little bit of good fortune by knowing the person who has a key, but we still have to follow that person. Follow. We can't just illegitimately enter in, steal the key and go in. This month of Kartik is holy month where we celebrate or we glorify Krishna being the thief of all thieves, the king of thieves. Now Krishna can do that. He stole Mother Yasoda's key for the storeroom. He stole it. He found the key. He knew where it was. And he went without permission and opened the storeroom and, pilfered all the pots of yogurt and what have you, broke the pots. We're not Krishna. We may have a little bit of Keshi in us, a little bit of Aristasura. Aristasura was one of the last demons to apparently attack Vrindavan, but they appear and they're seen, but they cannot really enter into Vrindavan. There's no demons can really enter into Vrindavan. There's no envy in Vrindavan. They may appear to, but it's like people may appear, maybe not, appear to go to the moon, but they can't really enter the moon. People go to Vrindavan, devotees also sometimes, with an enjoying spirit. You don't really enter into Vrindavan. You can get some distant benefit from association. And again, depending upon our relationship with that association. But the key is to, at different stages, of course, that key will open different doors. Just like to enter into Vaikuntha, there are many doors to go through. So at a stage now, whatever it is, you have to ask yourself. But generally, bhajana kriya with some faith, different degrees of faith, determine our progress through the stages of devotional service. Nectar of instruction, if you read very much in the beginning of this book, Jnana Timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshura Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Right at the beginning of this book, the preface is important to start in the beginning. We kind of, thought just by reading it once that the conclusion was already available. To know what the conclusion is and to achieve it are not necessarily the same thing. You may go to university, God bless you. You may go to university, but you know what the goal is, to get a degree, or you further advance a PhD or something. You don't start with that, you've got to start with the ABC, isn't it? So the preface is the ABC. Let's see what the preface says. The Krishna conscious movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas or Bengali Vaishnavas are mostly followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of whom the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan are direct disciples. Therefore, Srila Narottam Das Thakur has sung, Rupa Raghunatha Pade Haibe Akuti Kabe Hama Buddha Bose Yugala Piriti. When I am eager to understand the literature given by the 6 Goswamis, then I shall be able to understand the transcendental loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. Eager to understand. Not just to read, but to understand. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in order to bestow upon human society the benediction of the science of Krishna. This instruction was bestowed upon him by Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya appeared for that, and he gave that instruction to Rupa to explain this science. The most exalted of all the activities of Lord Krishna are his pastimes of conjugal love with the gopis. I didn't notice everywhere, but I see many pictures of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Krishna with his Kaura boyfriends and various other. I don't see any pictures of Radha Krishna paintings. None?
After the renovation, we're getting really big ones of Radha Krishna.
You're getting a big one, huh?
Getting big ones.
A Rasa Leela or something.
We're going to have a big Rasa Leela over there.
Oh, nice. Okay, they're coming. Yeah, otherwise, we'll all end up only at Sakya Bhav, No, maybe there's Vatsalya somewhere. I didn't even see Vatsalya here yet. No, I mean, we're supposed to be in Madhurya Bhav, aren't we? Yeah. Rasa Leela. At the moment, we're in Rasko Leela, not Rasa Leela. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani, the best of the gopis. Therefore, to understand the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and follow in his footsteps, one must very seriously follow in the footsteps of the 6 Goswamis. Sri Rupa, Sanatan, Bhatta, Raghunath, Jeev, Sri Jeev, Gopal Bhatta and Das Raghunath. Sri Rupa Goswami was the leader of all the Goswamis, and to guide our activities, he gave us this Upadeshamrita, the nectar of instruction to follow. It's only 11 verses, right? Very short. They're like sutras, devotional sutras. You read one this morning, huh? Number 5, I think. You were chanting number 5 this morning. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left behind him the 8 verses known as Sikshastakam, Rupa Goswami gave us Upadeshamrita so that we may become pure devotees or Vaishnavas. In all spiritual affairs, one's first duty is to control his mind and senses. Unless one controls his mind and senses, one cannot make any advancement in spiritual life. You may advance in some kind of piety, some agyata sukriti, but to advance through the stages of devotional service, control of the senses is imperative. Everyone within the material world is engrossed in the modes of passion and ignorance. One must promote himself to the platform of goodness, sattva-gun, by following the instructions of Rupa Goswami, and then everything concerning how to make further progress will be revealed. Advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower. Every line is a key, but that's certainly one of the keys, which is a very important key, because it says advancement in Krishna depends. There's not a choice here. There's no choice. There's not like 9 processes you can maybe choose or whatever, but this is a must. The attitude, it depends on that. A follower of the Krishna conscious movement should become a perfect Goswami. Prabhupada doesn't distinguish here between genders, ages, characters, qualities, etc. Whatever you may be by mature designation, everyone should control their senses. By become a Goswami by controlling their senses. Now, that will also be necessary to understand what that means, depending on what is our particular conditioning in the varnashram, maybe also according to our gender, our age, and so on and so forth, which varna, which ashram we're in. There are different directions. We take directions, not just speculate on what is the right way to control our senses according to our situation. Vaishnavas are generally known as Goswamis. It doesn't mean the order of life, it means the one whose senses are engaged in Krishna's service fully. It's devotional service to fully engage one's senses in the service of Krishna according to one's position. In Vrindavan, this is the title by which the director of each temple is known. They may or may not be Goswamis, but that's their title. One who wants to become a perfect devotee of Krishna must become a Goswami. Go means the senses, Swami means the master. Unless one controls his senses and mind, one cannot become a Goswami. To achieve the highest success in life by becoming a Goswami and then a pure devotee of the Lord, one must follow the instructions known as Upadeshamrita, which have been given by Srila Rupa Goswami. Srila Rupa Goswami has given many other books, such as Bhakti-rasa Amrita Sindhu, Vidagdha Madhava, and Lalita Madhava. But Upadeshamrita constitutes the first instructions for neophyte devotees. One should follow these instructions very strictly, then it will be easier to make one's life successful. Hare Krishna. And that was Prabhupada wrote this preface on September the 20th, 1975, in Vrindavan. That was on the day when Prabhupada, the anniversary of the day when Prabhupada took sannyas. He wrote that. So that's also interesting too, that we're all to follow this nectar of instruction. So it's what we were saying, if you go to college, you know what the goal is, but you have to know the means to attain the goal. There are different keys in any path that we go through in life. But it doesn't mean, as the same thing here, this book gives the key. It also gives, you could say, at least a glimpse into the result if we follow the path. The key is the instructions of the spiritual master, the path which leads to that ultimate goal. As Radhakund is the topmost place in the universe, manifest in this universe, in the sense we can't see it in its actual form. To us, the manifest form of Radhakund is what we see it as. Everyone will see it differently. This is our relative vision, relative perception with which we judge things. When Prabhupada first took a Western disciple to India in 1967, Kirtanananda went with Prabhupada, he gave him sannyas there for various reasons. And he had been in the movement 1 year. But one of his comments was to Srila Prabhupada, because when you go to India first time, you have all kinds of, feelings of expectations, whatever they are. Vrindavan, then especially it's like, you're expected to sort of see, gopis dancing in the forest and, everywhere, flute sounding, peacocks, everyone, pure devotees, all the buildings like effulgent, and everything. But, with mundane eyes you see otherwise. So he said to Prabhupada, why is Vrindavan so dirty, Srila Prabhupada? It looks dirty, doesn't it? If you're coming from, I guess from Atlanta, it's quite a clean city, I don't know. In terms of the streets, and I don't mean the behavior of the people, but the roads, I don't know, they used to be. And, everything's nice and neat. Even here, the houses are kind of neat. When you go to Vrindavan, broken houses and garbage everywhere, plastic bags everywhere, and hogs spraying their nectar all over you, and dogs, scrawny looking dogs, and dust and everywhere. You do find, but you generally see a lot of thorn bushes and tiny little trees. It's not like this idea of the dense forests, all these amazing trees. Very rare, you kind of get a glimpse, but not much. We just see a little glimpse, just a little touch there. So why is it dirty? And Prabhupada simply said, because your heart is dirty. You're seeing through dirty eyes, so you're seeing dirt. We see things through our perception. Our perception is the problem, not what's being seen. So Vrindavan, like Krishna, reveals himself accordingly to our surrender. For a pure devotee even now, for the sake of others, he may also emphasize the external vision, to try to encourage others to render service or to not be offensive towards the Dham, to clean it or whatever you want to call it from the external point of view. But internally, the pure devotee is seeing what to us is apricot. It's unseen. We can't see it. Just like demons, they can't really see Krishna. Krishna reveals himself in a different way. Vrindavan Krishna never reveals himself to demons. They may get an interaction with the Vasudeva Krishna, but not with a Vrindavan Krishna. He has no business with demons. They can't really enter into Vrindavan. It's by the arrangement of Yogamaya that they may appear to be interacting, but there's no way they can touch Vrindavan. No way. Neither even Lord Brahma cannot touch the coward boys, what to speak of demons. They have no eligibility. The key is the attitude, the mood. Vrindavan is only accessible when one has the proper, what to speak of Radhakund. What to speak of Radhakund is not a geographical place. Oh, how far is Radhakund? Oh, it's just 20 kilometers away. How much is the rickshaw? We go by taxi now. How much is the taxi? Let's get a taxi. Let's go to Radhakund. Let's go and have a bath in Radhakund this morning. It's not as cheap like that. We can go there with respect and hopefully become a little purified. Hopefully. So we may become more eligible on the path towards that destination. But it's important to know what the goal is. If you don't know what the goal is, you'll never win the game. One has to know the goal, but we have to know what the path is towards the goal. What is the process? What are the steps to take? We need to be trained if we want to enter in to Vrindavan. Let's read a few things that Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj said about this. We'll read 1-2 verses first from the Nectar of Instruction. If I had more time, I could have probably been a bit more specific. But anyway, we'll read a few of the later verses. Now, again, bearing in mind, you've got to go through the stages. And once you've passed one stage, then the next stage will be revealed. So if we haven't crossed over the first verse, which you probably all know by now, Vacho Vegam, Manasa Kroda Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Uttara Pasta Vegam, the first verse about controlling the senses, right? And then you have to know what is unfavorable and favorable in the execution of devotional service, isn't it? Then you have to know how to properly associate with devotees, isn't it? And chant the holy name, render service, everything done properly. And then gradually, we'll go to text number 8 of the Nectar of Instruction, just a little ahead of what you're reading, but today is a special day. The essence of all advice is that one should utilize one's fully, in 24 hours a day, in nicely chanting and remembering the Lord's divine name, transcendental form, qualities and eternal pastimes. Is there a cup of water anywhere? Maybe there is, I can't see it. So that's one instruction. Now we're quite a way, we're down the path quite a long way here. Can I put it there or not? Can? Oh yeah. Just checking. That's all. Dad Prabhupada did say on several occasions that this is, he asked, how can we serve you? Prabhupada would often sometimes just say that. Just keep engaged 24 hours a day. And here, a little more specific, engaged in this way. In this way, one should reside in Vraj. That can be interpreted in different ways. But by engaging in full 24 hours a day service, it's considered one's at least in that state, in a sense, because that's Vraj. 24 hours a day, only what pleases Krishna. So being engaged 24 hours a day, in one sense, is in the mood of Vrindavan. Goloka Vrindavan Dham, and serve Krishna under the guidance of devotees. One should follow in the footsteps of the Lord's beloved devotees, who are deeply attached to his devotional service. Srila Prabhupada brought Vrindavan everywhere, including Atlanta, all over the world, to establish this mood everywhere. And we often hear this, which is a fact, that we have to follow in the footsteps of those eternal associates if we want to reside in Vrindavan, whether we know it or whether we don't know it, but that's the situation which we're in, to the degree that we're following the residence of Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada is an eternal resident of Vrindavan, so is his Guru Maharaj, and his Guru Maharaj, and his Guru Maharaj, etc., etc. Following in the footsteps. Gopi Bharta Pada Kamalama Dasa 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 Nudas. They're all following in the footsteps of Srimati Radharani. And the next verse, we don't have time to read the purport, it's quite long. Text number 9. The holy place known as Mathura. Maybe we do need it. I don't know if we need a fan. Is the heater on or something? I'm overheating here. I don't usually overheat. That's very rare. Maybe because I overeat, therefore I'm overheat. I ate too much. I was sat next to Mahotsa, so what do you expect? He misled me entirely. He said he eats so much prasadam, and then at first they served me, so I thought I'd better eat a lot, otherwise I'd be embarrassed here. And then they put half as much on his plate. I couldn't believe it. The holy place known as Mathura is spiritually superior to Vaikuntha, the transcendental world, because the Lord appeared there in Mathura. Superior to Mathura Puri is the transcendental forest of Vrindavan, because of Krishna's Rasa Leela pastimes. and superior to the forest of Vrindavan is Govardhan Hill, for it was raised by the divine hand of Sri Krishna and was the site of his various loving pastimes. And above all, the super excellent Sri Radhakund stands supreme, for it is overflooded with the ambrosial nectarian prema of the Lord of Gokul, Sri Krishna. Where then is that intelligent person who is unwilling to serve this divine Radhakund, which is situated at the foot of Govardhan Hill? Where is that person? And we may or may not feel like that, but every devotee in this room who is serving Srila Prabhupada's mission in some way or another, cooking, cleaning, washing, whatever you're doing, distributing books, managing, farming, whatever it is, making packets of books, whatever you're doing, is serving Radhakund. It's significant to note that when Srila Prabhupada was in Radhakund, in the 1930s, whatever year it was, 35 I think, and there, actually according to those who had actually had more information of what went on, it was in his room. It wasn't on the bank of the Kund. Mostly the pictures show Prabhupada walking with his Guru Maharaj around the actual periphery around Radhakund. But it actually was in his room where he instructed him on this. In Radhakund, if ever you get money, print books. Very soon there'll be fire in the Gaudiya Math. I'd rather tear down the marble and print books. He gave Prabhupada this instruction there and then. And that was an instruction given in the area of Radhakund. So it's there's a distinct link between the two. On the path of Bhagavat Marg, you'll see on the Gaudiya Math logo, one side is the Pancharatriki Marg, the other is the Bhagavat Marg. The Bhagavat Marg, what's on the Bhagavat Marg side? Pardon, the printing press. He put printing press, is that a spiritual, in the spiritual world you're going to see a printing press? Well, by Yoga Maya's arrangement there could be one there, or more.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Chung, 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 chung. Old style printing press, letter press. That's how they used to print the books during this time. Now you have all this, whatever, offset, this thing, that thing, all computerized. It wasn't then. Quite noisy. And he said that he would, in some of the temples, they'd have the printing press at one end of the temple room and the deities at the other. In the temple room, printing press up there, and deities here. And it would be going away, in front of the deities, printing press. So Bhagavat Marg. Madanga also, Harinam Sankirtana. And on the other side, of course, deity worship and the study of various Vaidhi Shastras, Haribhakti Vilas and others. Kind of there. You got the logo up there. Look, you're an expert. I can't believe it. Look at that. Go up to the top. You see Srimad Bhagavatam there on the top. And on the other side, the Pancharatriki Shastras. And Radha Krishna on the one side and Lakshmi Narayan on the other. So the point is, one of the keys to the Bhagavat Marg is also the Pancharatriki Marg. You can't jump over. Prabhupada said we worship in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan, even though they're worshipping Radha Krishna. We're worshipping, on Lakshmi Narayan's side is reverence, awe and reverence, rules and regulations, and so on. There's not much familiarity involved there. And the Bhagavat Marg is spontaneous. We may not be spontaneous, but the point is we're following spontaneity. Our acharyas are spontaneous. We're not. We have a spontaneous attraction to nonsense maybe, but not to Krishna consciousness. Is awoken by that following in the footsteps of those who have it. we have to follow. So when it says here that we have to, somewhere it said just now, following the footsteps of those devotees, and where it was just now we read it. So that's our stage. That's essential. Unless we cross over that level, that stage of devotional service, then these are objective goals. This is for devotees. For instance, in the last verse, number 2 more verses. Let's read number 10. In the Shastras, it is said that of all types of fruitive workers, he who is advanced in knowledge of the higher values of life is favored by the Supreme Lord Hari. One of many such people who are advanced in knowledge, Agyanis, one who is practically liberated by virtue of his knowledge, may take to devotional service. Bahunam Jamanamanteya, Gyanavan Mam Prapajate. After many births, they may come to this platform. He is superior to the others. However, one who has actually attained prema, pure love of Krishna, is superior to him. The gopis are exalted above all the advanced devotees because they are always totally dependent upon Sri Krishna, the transcendental coward boy. Among the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the most dear to Krishna. Her Kund is as profoundly dear to Lord Krishna as this most beloved of the gopis. Who then will not reside at Radhakund, and in a spiritual body, surcharged with ecstatic devotional feelings, aprakrit bhav, internal and not external manifestations, but the internal ones, render loving service to the divine couple, Shri Shri Radha Govinda. Who perform their Ashta Kaliya Leela. Hare Krishna. There's a new devotee, I don't recognize, has just arrived. Hare Krishna. Pardon? Naveen? Naveen. Welcome, Naveen. Are you working? He works, does he? Pardon? Huh? College? Studying? Student. Okay, good. Interesting, I think it was 1932 when Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj was in Radhakund. They went on Parikrama, of course, the Brajmandal Parikrama. That year he spoke on Astakalya Leela. We don't normally do this, especially to unqualified persons, but he said you must know, even if you're not on that level, you still must hear this to know what the goal is. And he spoke it about Astakalya Leela that year. I don't know if it's written what he said. Their eternal eightfold daily pastimes. Indeed, those who execute devotional service on the banks of Radhakund are the most fortunate people in the universe. There's a quality of service, just like here it's qualified, in a spiritual body, surcharged with ecstatic devotional feelings. So ask yourself, do you feel like you're in a spiritual body? Do you feel it's surcharged with ecstatic devotional feelings? Do you have any material desires whatsoever? You do? Are we qualified to fit this description? Maybe we're qualified to take up the process leading to it. And the last verse, which is again quite something. Of the many objects of favoured delight and of all the lovable damsels of Brajabhumi, Srimati Radharani is certainly the most treasured object of Krishna's love, and in every respect her divine Kund is described by great sages as similarly dear to him. It's non-different, as we know. We haven't got time to tell the story of the appearance of Radhakund. Right? It's quite common. But it's non-different than Radharani. as we're very respectful and cautious in, let's say, conversing or discussing about Srimati Radharani, her Kund is exactly on the same level as Radharani. It's most dear to Krishna. Undoubtedly, Radha Kund is very rarely attained, even by the great devotees. Therefore, it is even more difficult for ordinary devotees to attain. If one simply bathes once within those holy waters, one's pure love of Krishna is fully aroused. Yes, somewhere I thought it was in this verse, but it's not, which describes that even Sanak of the four Kumaras or Narada Muni aspire for this opportunity to reside or to take bath in Radha Kund. It's not within their ability, not eligible. And they're pure. Sanak, of course, is in Shantaras. And Narada Muni is a mixture of service and little friendship, but mostly seva, service. But they're not eligible to enter in. Their mood is not that mood of Braj. So let's have a little look what Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj says. This we do have some notes, although they're random at the moment. So I can't say I'm going to read them in any systematic order, but we'll try to hear some of them. These words are either in the Harmonist or from lectures which Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj gave in that would have been 1932 in Radha Kund. Persons envious of the Lord suppose that Radha Kund and other such places are for those like themselves. So we wish them well and conscientiously continue with their duties in service to the Lord. Residence at Radha Kund is obtained by exceedingly good fortune. It is not a suitable place for materialists like myself. No, this is Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj writing. Who thus, being unable to directly reside there, may do so only mentally. The Harmonists defined Radha Kund as the reservoir of all services, expressions of adoration that Radhika and her damsels constantly offer to their lover Krishna. The reservoir of all services. Everything's there. Radha Kund is protected like a fortress by the associates of Sri Radhika, who prohibit persons of contrary consciousness to enter therein. They may appear to do, but it's like a reflection only. Not able to enter into the real Radha. If you read descriptions which are given by our acharyas of what Radha Kund's like, it doesn't look quite like what we see with our ordinary eyes. I won't get into whatever little I can remember having heard or read, but quite a description of what it is. It's not just Radha Kund. All the Astasakis have their kunds around Radha Kund, and they're all like, something beyond our imagination in terms of how they're decorated, what's going on there, everything about them, which we cannot see. At least we can't see with our mundane eyes. We see through hearing. The key is to hear, not to see, but to hear. We have to hear about the path leading to Radha Kund, about the glories of Radha Kund is one thing, but the path leading to Radha Kund. We have to know what that path is, and how to pass. There are various, you could say, tax collectors on the path. Tolls, you have to go through toll gates. You have to be able to pay the price, otherwise you can't proceed on the road. If one still, we sing sometimes in that beautiful song, isn't it? Which one is it? Is it Gauranga Bolite Habe Pulaka Sharir Ishaya Chariya Kabe Shuddha Habe Man Tabe Hama He Rabo Shri Vrindavanam. We want to enter Vrindavan and Vishaya Charya Kabi. We have to senses controlled. Huh? That's just the beginning stage. One has to, with control, if we want at all to enter Vrindavan, one has to control one's senses. But if one's sense is not controlled, you can't pass that toll gate. You may think you can, but you'll be pulled back. You'll go there and commit offenses. Better you don't, in that sense. Pride and so many things will be with us. So we've got to be careful to follow the proper approach, the proper path. If the toll collector or the associate of Radhakund takes us there, and we hold his hand, that's another thing. I want to show you that you're not ready yet, so you can see, but then you have to go back. We see this sometimes even in the pastimes we see in the Bhagavatam. Who can think of a pastime in the Bhagavatam where a great devotee who is eligible, but they show by their example, they see something and then it seems like they don't see it, but then they're hankering to find a way to see it again or to reach it again. Who can think of an example? Pardon? Maharaj Parikshit. He saw the Lord in the womb, right? Parikshit means examiner. He's always hankering for that personality whom he saw in the womb. Another one? Narada Muni, exactly. Probably the most famous one. Maybe there are others also. But those two are very famous. So that's exceedingly good fortune. Radhakund is protected like a fortress. So yeah, it's not necessarily a fortress like but we don't have the consciousness. Yogamaya will not allow us. Even Lakshmi Devi wasn't allowed in. Lakshmi Devi herself, can you imagine? Because she didn't have the right attitude. So what to speak of the likes of us? We take it a little cheaply sometimes. Unfortunately, the luckless Prakriti Sahajas think themselves qualified to reside there and attempt to pollute the entirely transcendental Radhakund with their materialistic ideas. But Radhakund is far beyond anything of this mundane world, and even more exalted than Govardhan. Hence, the ill-fated Prakriti Sahajas cannot actually live at Radhakund, nor touch even a drop of her sacred water. Not even touching a drop, just like Lord Brahma didn't touch one single calf or coward boy, not one. He's not qualified to touch them. They were Mayic expansions, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, of the calves and coward boys. He couldn't touch them at all. None of the demons could touch either. When you read these pastimes, it's some kind of shadow expansions that they take away. It appears like that, but they're for the pastime, for external purposes, but actually they can't touch the eternal associates of the Lord in any way. Being at Radhakund, bathing rather in Radhakund, is not possible with mundane contaminated senses, and thus not achieved, these are the words of Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, by dunking. You know what dunk means? Like your biscuits, you dunk your biscuits in if you have cookies, if you have them or not, I don't know if you have them here, but you dunk them in your hot milk. Very nice, they taste very nice. It's kind of sense enjoyment, transcendental sense enjoyment. Don't necessarily have to introduce this as a regular habit here. You know. One thing will lead to another. What will come next? The next thing is you'll have mattresses and things in the brahmachari ashram. Oh, no way. I see you've already introduced pillows. I mean, that's pretty sense gratification if I ever saw it. My God. Pillows. What will come next?
He doesn't use it too much.
Okay, the real brahmachari here still. Guy. What does he use?
He just uses his hands, like the bar.
Just a hand. Wow. If you're a retirement age, you have an excuse, you know. When you get older, sometimes it's not so possible, in fact. If they bathe in Radhakund, they're simply dunking a bag of bones and flesh. Mundane contaminated, anyone with mundane contaminated senses, they simply dunk a bag of bones and flesh. Dip it in the Kund, dip the bag in the Kund, pick it out again. If they bathe in Radhakund without accepting the purport of Atak Shri Krishna Namadi, the Bhavan Graham Indriya. Do you know that verse? Who knows it? Anyone? Atak Shri Krishna Namadi, the Bhava Graham Indriya. Sevan Mukha Hijivado Swayameva Sprutyada. What does that mean?
That you cannot taste, that you cannot really chant the holy name of Krishna with your mundane senses, only a person with the proper.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. The Lord's transcendental form, you could say name, pastimes, everything, cannot be seen or understood, revealed to one whose senses are not purified with materialistically covered senses. You cannot get that darshan of the Lord. It's only by the Lord's mercy ultimately, of course, but particularly through this process, seva mukha jivadusa, engaging our senses beginning with the tongue in the service of Krishna. They gradually become purified. So then, as the senses become purified, then the vision may start to become manifested, again by the mercy of Krishna, of course. Aprakrithvas means the transcendental residence of the Lord, beyond mundane vision, on the banks of Radhakund, and aprakrit snan, the transcendental bath in her waters, saturated in the nectar of prema, means to become wholly aloof from all desires for material sense enjoyment, and up to the end of life to constantly perform mansa bhajan, deep devotional worship, with one-pointed submission to Srimati Radhika, and after shedding the mortal body to attain one's eternal spiritual form and intently perform direct eternal service to Srimati Radhika. One who actually bathes in Radhakund in this manner attains the topmost desirable boon. So it seems like you have to come to that platform to really, adopt or be able to absorb oneself in the essential inner meanings of these last verses. It's not just dunking a bag of skin and bones and think that immediately you will awaken, ecstatic love of Godhead. Has anyone here bathed in Radhakund? You bathed in full bath? A few of you have totally immersed yourselves, immersed your bag of bones and blood and flesh in the Kund. A few of you. Did you immediately feel totally love of Godhead fully manifesting? No, that's not enough. Only one who's on Bhava Bhakti is really able to bathe in Radhakund. Then you're supposed to experience Prema Bhakti. Did you experience Prema Bhakti? Maybe you didn't do it, but we have to do it again. Your gumcha was dirty when you took a bath. I have taken bath, this is from the lecture. I have taken bath in Radhakund. I took a dip in Radhakund. I am a lump of flesh and blood. I am my wife's maintainer. I am a sannyasi. I'm a Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra. Thinking any of these ways disqualifies one to bathe in Radhakund. Even if you say, I have taken a bath in Radhakund, I took a dip, all this disqualifies one. What to speak of such materialistic conceptions? If we are filled with the attitude of awe and reverence, we also cannot bathe in Radhakund. We have to tread the path of Sri Radha's maidservants without imitating them. So as long as we're still approaching, which we're supposed to do with reverence also, we can't really bathe there. We can become purified by hearing and by serving. By regarding ordinary water as sacred and the gross material body as the self, one can neither see nor bathe in Radhakund. What's that verse? Mahaprasadi Govinde Namar Brahmani Vaishnavi. Sometimes you chant that before prasadam, isn't it? Svapa Punya Vatavajan Vishvaso Navajayati. What does it mean? Huh?
One who doesn't have faith in Mahaprasad.
Yeah.
The holy name, the Brahmins.
Yeah.
They can't really relish Mahaprasad. Who would have faith in this?
Yeah, something like that. There's another verse then. Well, anyway, along these particular lines, we just sees it as a body possessed of hellish mentality. Oh, that's a different verse. Possessed of hellish mentality. One sees, just sees it as ordinary body of water and this and that. I can't remember that verse. It's possessed of hellish mentality. By regarding, here it is maybe. By regarding ordinary water as sacred and the gross material body as the self, one can neither see nor bathe in Radhakund. Shri Radhakund is always invisible to mortal eyes, nor can any mortal ever bathe in the same. And from an article also in February 1932, if one's consciousness is covered by upadhis or various kinds of material identities, when he bathes in Radhakund, it's the same thing. He may as well bathe a bag of bones. We cannot attain Vrajvasa without the mercy of the Brajvasis. But why should they speak to us? How will we see them with material eyes? Because we are covered with pride and envy. They will not listen to what we say, because we have no attachment for them. They do not speak to us. Why would the Vrajvasis engage in eternal spiritual pastimes speak to us? They say, you are searching for material pleasure. Has Krishna become a material object for your pleasure? One cannot know about Braj except through subservience to Sri Rupa Manjari and Sri Rati Manjari, Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Das. When we receive the mercy of Prabhu Nityananda, on that very day we will understand the mercy of Sri Rupa Manjari and Sri Rati Manjari. When we receive the mercy of Prabhu Nityananda. Only the most fortunate live with pure hearts in the most sanctified place, Sri Radhakund, and worship Krishna 24 hours a day. Sri Radhakund is the highest section of Goloka, the most confidential place in the spiritual sky, and the only shelter for devotees on the platform of Madhurya Ras. The point is that one must forsake materialistic conceptions after attaining the aprakrit body of the gopis. Aprakrit living entities render aprakrit service to the aprakrit Sri Radha in Braj as the apricot maidservants of Sri Radha in the transcendental groves on the bank of apricot Radhakund. They've got no Balaram font anymore on this computer, so it will come out in weird ways. It's on Times New Roman or something. So what is apricot? It's not a nice fruit which you'd sometimes get, apricot. What is apricot? Inconceivable, beyond material vision. It's spiritual. It's a spiritual reality. We can just see a material reflection with our eyes of that spiritual realm. We see a material reflection. That can purify our hearts if we see it with the right concept also, even without some benefit there on our attitude. So not possible unless one has that apricot body of the gopis. It's very clear from all of this that we are talking not so much, that's just someone's comment, about physical resonance on the banks of Radhakund. We're talking about a very high level of consciousness and state of heart. In fact, Srila Prabhupada tells us that Vrindavan is revealed in the heart of the sincere devotee. In reality, Prabhupada says, it is not on any map, nor is it part of any country. Nityananda does not directly instruct in the confidential service of Krishna. Srimati Radharani is the guru of the inner circle of the servants of Krishna. Radharani, however, accepts the offer of service of only those souls who are especially favored by Nityananda and who are deemed by him to be fit for her service. There is therefore a most intimate relationship between the function of Nityananda and that of Srimati Radharani. So that's the key. So one must get the recommendation, the favor of Lord Nityananda. That's another topic in of itself, how to get that favor. Of course, the Guru is the descendant, representative of Lord Nityananda. He's the Adi Guru, and all of the Gurus in our line are following Lord Nityananda. And we have to get the favor of Nityananda. Prabhu, how to get that favor? How are we going to get his favor? Anyone like to suggest something? How to get the favor of Lord Nityananda? Well, that's a good one, isn't it? Prabhupada has made that very practical. He's given a practical way. Of course, there's other factors even involved in distributing books. Our consciousness is also, you could say, any form of distributing books is all beneficial, no doubt. But to achieve the full favor of Lord Nityananda, our consciousness is also important. Our attitude. That's why etiquettes are there and why it's important to study the books and so on. So we know, we have some knowledge, we have some framework to follow to become favorable, to develop a favorable attitude. How to relate to Lord Nityananda's representatives and so on. How to relate. We're not on a spontaneous platform, so learning how to relate either to Radhakund or to Vrindavan Dham or to the holy name, and especially to devotees, no matter what level they're on, is also an important part of nectar of instruction. How to relate to different devotees at different stages is also here. I think it's time to finish. We'll just finish on this. Perhaps we can find it, just one verse, which is the verse you read this morning, isn't it? Did you read that this morning? Huh? What one did you do this morning? 5 or 6? The one you did before. One should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of Lord Krishna. One should offer humble obeisances to the devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation, diksha. And this refers generally to second initiation, don't forget. This was written by Rupa Goswami 500 years ago and is engaged in worshipping the deity. And one should associate with and faithfully serve that pure devotee who is advanced in undivided and undeviated devotional service and whose heart is completely devoid of the propensity to criticize others. So that's just a overview, a little bit of a indication how we should associate. Of course, there's much more to it, but that understanding of how to associate is also important. And in all of our activities, the attitude in which we try to serve is essential. Hare Krishna. It's now 7:30 exactly. I'm on time. Pardon? I'm on time.
Do you want to take some questions?
Do I want to take it? If you want to give it. Anyone want to give one? Well, maybe you can give an answer. Someone's going to give a question. You don't have to. You have Govardhan
What?
Hill. Is Radhakund also there at the foot of Govardhan Hill?
We didn't make
I
one
saw.
yet. Hasn't manifested yet.
Is it going to manifest?
By your mercy.
By my mercy?
Yeah.
It's not what it says here.
Maharaj,
By the mercy of Rupa and Raghunath. Raghunath Goswami, Lord Chaitanya, by his mercy, he discovered Radhakund and Shyamakund. And by the mercy of Raghunath Das, at least we have a chance to kind of maybe appreciate a little more or get the opportunity a little bit more to be able to focus in that direction.
Maharaj, Narada Muni is in our sampradaya.
Pardon?
Narada Muni is in our sampradaya.
Is he?
Right, and
yes, he is. Well, from Lord Brahma.
Yeah, from Lord Brahma. So how is it that Rupa Goswami is also part of the same sampradaya, but he's allowed entrance in Radhakund, but why is it that Narada Muni and all of them, it's difficult for them to attain Radhakund? How does this make sense?
Yeah, sampradaya coming from Lord Brahma. Even Lord Brahma is not, in his position, Lord Brahma, eligible to enter into Vrindavan. What to speak of Narada Muni, Vyasadeva. You'll read, there's a verse spoken by, can't remember. There's a verse somewhere. It says that, how difficult the Bhagavatam is to understand it. Lord Shiva may understand, and one after that may understand. Vyasadeva may or may not understand, it says. May or may not. So, it's not a cheap thing. I mean, understand up to a certain point. It's not just about repeating it and talking about it only. And that we may do, but different devotees are in different relationships with Krishna. Even in the Parampara disciplic succession, as we heard, Narada Muni is mainly in Dasyaras. And no, anyone in Dasyaras cannot. They may glorify, and when Lord Chaitanya was in Sri Rangam, he was talking with Vyankatabhata. You know this very well, probably. Vyankatabhata is in service mood, Dasyaras, worshipping the Lord in reverence, Vaikuntha mood. Although he fully appreciated what Lord Chaitanya is saying, he was fixed in his mood of service. Murari Gupta was fixed in his mood of service to Ramchandra, very intimate associate of Lord Chaitanya. You sometimes get this now, but beyond and above that, even in our line, some of the acharyas prior to that of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like of course specifically Madhavendra Puri, was in Madhurya Ras. But generally they were not. They were generally pure devotees, but in other rasas. And mostly in our line they were dasya. They were mostly service oriented. And it was really when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance that after that our acharyas who have appeared, at least the 6 acharyas who have appeared, have been in Madhurya Ras. With occasional exceptions, someone said sometimes they're in Sakhya Ras, friendship, but generally Madhurya Ras by Lord Chaitanya's a unique gift. Never before, Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. And Lord Chaitanya has given this. No other form of Godhead has given this. They generally just talk about, maybe in the Vishnu Swami sect or something, they also mention, but it's not this aspect of Madhurya Ras. That's good. It's a little easier to hear now. What was that noise? Pardon?
The fan noise.
Oh, it was the fans that were making a noise. Okay. Sorry about that. But and in others like what's his name? Was Vatsalya Bhav. when Lord Chaitanya, who was his name? He went to see Lord Chaitanya with his Bhagavatam commentary. Vallabhabhat. He was Vatsalya Bhav, a devotee. But in Vatsalya Bhav, he couldn't appreciate Madhurya Bhav properly. To glorify it, understand it by theory, but not being able to enter in. So when only since Lord Chaitanya, Vairacharyas, even if they were in that mood, they never revealed it. That wasn't their business. Generally, that's not revealed. Something which is very rare, extremely rare. But Lord Chaitanya has made the most rare aspect of love of God in the form of Madhurya available. It's extremely rare. Even for the likes of Narada Muni, four Kumaras, Vyasadeva, Lord Brahma, Madhvacharya. Not accessible unless that's their mood. Then they'll follow in the footsteps. So who are they going to follow? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Lord Chaitanya then, naturally, his associates who in that mood appear, the Goswamis, or his eternal assistants in Goloka Vrindavan, Rupa Manjari, Vati Manjari, and so on, appeared as Rupa and Sanatana and Raghunath, and others accompanied him. By their association, that attraction may awaken within the hearts of others. Yes? No?
Gaurarti.
Gaurarti, okay. What's the plan tomorrow? The books are arriving.
Yeah, there's going to be a party going out. I think we're going to go out. You wanted to go out with Mahotsa.
I see this is very common. Partying is very common in America, I heard.
Yeah.
Let's party, I've seen sign. Let's party. So you're going for a party tomorrow, yeah?
Yes,
Okay. Nice. Let's go for a party. Hmm? Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ki Jai. Oh, well, just before we finish, I've got one or two little things here in case I forget. What have I got? I don't know, this will take 5 minutes of delay. Is it possible? Somebody can distribute. This is from Singhachalam. Abhishek from Lord Nrsingadev in Singhachalam. Who would like to go around with that one? That's fresh. Fresh. And someone, this is Mahaprasad from Radha Parasishwara. Here. A little bit for everyone. Someone, either you can come and get or you can go and, someone can go and give. What should we do? You want to go and give everyone a little bit of Maha? Or you want to come and get a little bit of Maha?
Oh, getting it from the lotus. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. My lotus hand, oh my God. That's real incentive. I gotta go like this. One.
So like the Prabhupada pastime was giving out cookies.
Two. Well, in theory, in practice, there's a gulf of difference. It is Mahaprasad, so don't complain. Where? Yeah. There's that humble soul over there. We better be careful. Who's that? Lovely lawyer. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Come on, ladies. Where are the ladies? They're all shy. Which they should be. It's a good quality of a lady. Anyone else? Here he is. Naveen, welcome back. That's your initiated name, Naveen?
No.
But Naveen is very much an Indian name.
Yeah.
How did you get that?
TM disciples.
Huh?
TM Transcendental Meditation disciples.
Transcendental meditation.
Yeah, TM. The Maharaja.
Oh, Maharishi, I was reading about him this morning. Can you believe it?
Really?
Yeah. It was the conversation between Srila Prabhupada and Doug and Shamasundar or somebody. You've read that conversation? Doug was one of the secretaries of Maharishi Mahesh Yogi in America in the 70s. And he told Prabhupada, he said, Maharishi sent him to Prabhupada. Said, if you want love of God, you go to Bhaktivedanta Swami. He can give it to you. There you go. Hare Krishna. So he wasn't all, whatever you hear. Hare Krishna. There you go. Hare Krishna. And even the chubby one, what was his name? Guru Maharaji. He sent. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. One devotee said, he was also following him, he said, you go there, and if you want to learn worship of Krishna, go to the Swami Bhaktivedanta.
Wow.
So something was there behind all the negativity. Maybe they were trying to imitate or envy or something. I don't know. Well, our business to comment. Where's here? Everyone's had Mahaprasad? Okay. Here's another book to add to your library. Have you got it?
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Put it. This is the book you have to. One for the ladies' library. Give it one for the ladies' library.
Could we get it signed by a Lotus hand?
No. Get it signed, but not by me. There is no Lotus hand to sign it, I'm afraid.
It looks pretty Lotus.
Pretty loaded. My loaded hand. Whoops. Oh,
This is Tapas Prabhu's favorite book.
Who?
His
Tapas.
favorite book.
Favorite book.
You gave him the rest of your mercy.
I gave him one. I gave him
He reads it every night before he goes.
Does he read?
Oh boy. Now I know what that noise was last night. I wonder what those noises were coming from the Brahmachari ashram. Kept me awake all night long. What's that? I have no signature. It's different every time I sign.
Wow, that's a different one.
Yeah.
What's the date?
Huh? That's the date.
Whoa.
Hare Krishna, few ashram.
I like the one with the glasses.
Huh?
Snake with the glasses.
That's a worm. That's not a snake. How do you call me a snake? That's me.
Oh, I get it. Now I get it.
That's me.
Okay.
That's me.
Oh no, that's not you.
It is.
No.
In the story.
I drew that. Self-portrait. I looked in the mirror and just copied what I saw.
Oh my Krishna. Oh Lord Chaitanya.
It says here, what does it say? Alias, see? Alias worm.
Oh my.
That's me. It's a worm, it's not a snake. Oh, dear.
You have other books too, man.
Yeah, there's one you're reading. You got that, haven't you?
We have this one.
Yeah, you got it. You got that one?
I have a personal copy.
Oh,
I got a personal copy signed by Shiva Maharaj.
I'll take
there
it.
you go. They're good for the ashram.
Yeah, Bhakti program.
Good for that. It's good. I mean, he's to the point, but broad-minded and respectful at the same time. I'll give to the Matajis. I've got more if you want it. I've got more. Just trying to get. We've got hundreds of them in France for some reason. The last thing anyone reads in France. That one. They abandoned that years ago. Everybody takes. What do you want? You want this one? Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Whoa! Where's the other part of the bottle?
I think the Madhiji just kept it.
Okay, so we can bring it back. That would be nice. Someone can, if they're still doing it, it's fine. But otherwise, put the top on. It's coming back, is it? Coming back. Unlike your Guru Maharaj, I'd never written anything for over 20 years.
Whoa. Oh, it's the
I
back.
was in the mood of writing at one point of time. And the only book I helped your Guru Maharaj with was the Vaishnava etiquette book, and it never got published.
It's still getting published.
I know it's been like that for the last 25 years.
Yeah, it's true. I've
I
been
went
reading
through
about
it
in
25
Prabhupada
years
since
ago.
1990.
Yeah, I went through it 25 years ago, and nothing ever got published.
Yeah, it's still like. Been worked on. Thank you.
Still, just now coming.
Mitraman
Mahananda. Where's
He's right
Mahananda?
there.
Okay, let's go. Agur Arti.
Jai.
Ah!